Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. A little break from our greatest Primarch series today, as I wanted to talk a little bit of news and current lore updates that we've received. But fret not, we absolutely will be continuing the series after the weekend. However, for today, this week I managed to dive into the latest edition of White Dwarf, and there was a pretty interesting update regarding the Nephilim Anomaly. Now, as a reminder, or for those new to the lore, the Nephilim Anomaly is part of the Silent King's grand scheme to prevent the flood of the warp across the galaxy, using the ancient Necron expertise with Noctilith, aka Blackstone. He has established several nexuses across the galaxy where the Necrons have begun to steal the warp. Hubs that they seek to expand out across the galaxy, eventually ridding the material galaxy of the warp entirely. Now, while of course you may think that sounds like a good thing, the problem is the network has the effect of turning the Imperial populace within into mindless husks. So it is most definitely not something the Imperium can allow to happen, no matter the larger problem of the Great Rift, causing pretty much all of these regions to become war zones, with one in particular known as the Nephilim Anomaly. And within this current edition of White Dwarf, we're told of how Vashtorr the Arkifane has arrived within this war zone, bringing with him the latest sighting of his planetary creation, Wormwood, the heretical copy of Old Caliban, tearing its way through the fabric of space. Now, Vashtorr is still on the search for the mysterious vault, the contents of which we don't know, only that it would most likely spell the doom of the galaxy were he to find it and acquire it. And rather intriguingly, there's a clue that teases this to be Vashtorr's very reason for joining the Nephilim conflict. Some of his mortal followers even speculate that by unmaking the Necron's nodal matrix, the Arkifane may reveal clues as to the location of the fated lock, for which Wormwood is the key. So, as part of Vashtorr's quest, it appears quite possible he is going to have to dismantle the Necron's Nexus project, of course putting him onto a straight collision course with the Silent King. Indeed, there was a following tease of Szarekh already preparing to take out Vashtorr entirely. The Silent King observes Wormwood's obscene mass through the eyes of his underlings and views the Arkifane's presence as the greatest threat to the Nephilim Anomaly's expansion. Thus, he has already tasked his Technomandrite allies with devising a method of unmaking the potent threat to his ascendancy. So it appears we could well have a new clash of titans on the way. Vashtorr the Arkifane, the wannabe fifth seat of the Pantheon, against the Silent King, master and ruler of the Infinite Empire. And it raises the very odd and unexpected notion that Szarekh the Silent King could well be not only the saviour of the Imperium here, inadvertently of course, but also the saviour of the entire galaxy as well, if he is able to defeat Vashtorr or take out Wormwood. And what a boon for the Imperium that would be. One of its biggest adversaries, one of undoubtedly its biggest threats, eliminated by another of their greatest enemies. It's the perfect scenario for Guilliman and the Imperium. And let's be real here, if there was anyone in the galaxy who could be a real threat to Wormwood and thus Vashtorr, it is absolutely Szarekh the Silent King, for my money. The Necrons have already defeated a certified race of gods, the Catan, shattering their species into shards, eternally enslaving them. Taking out Wormwood, or even Vashtorr, permanently, is most definitely achievable for them. I don't think even being a creature of the warp gives Vashtorr any guarantees going up against the Necrons. Again, they are god killers. The Catan may have been material rather than immaterial, as it were, but the Necron power is beyond ancient, and beyond anything else in the galaxy. They will know a way to take him out. It's clear Szarekh recognises the threat Vashtorr poses, with that remark of, and views the Arkifane's presence as the greatest threat to the Nephilim Anomalies expansion. But that doesn't really feel like Szarekh fears him, keeping that comment very centred to his project. And nor should he. Again, the Silent King is millions of years old. Millions. He has ruled the entire galaxy, parlayed with gods, defeated the Old Ones, destroyed gods, and he has seen the full scope of the Tyrannid threat first-hand within the Void, and he has returned to take it out. He has no peer or superior, and his arrogance and entitlement knows no bounds. He will definitely see Vashtorr as beneath him. And for Vashtorr's part, well, I can't say I know the Arkifane all that well yet. He's still a fairly new name in the lore. What I will say though, is that despite his protest, he bears many personality traits in common with the Gods of Chaos. Namely his own all-encompassing arrogance and obsession. So I think it's possible he doesn't really know the full scope of what he's taking on, simply believing himself more than capable of eradicating the nuisance Necron threat. Especially so now that he has Wormwood at his disposal, the so-called key to ultimate power. Vashtorr will simply see himself as superior to the technological race of the Necrons. And that could possibly be Vashtorr's undoing, as it often tends to be with the gods he wishes to join. Taking on Szarekh the Silent King is no joke. Not your run-of-the-mill opponent. A being who can command 1,000 battlefields simultaneously across the galaxy, who has the wisdom and knowledge to rival Vashtorr's, if not surpass it. You underestimate him, even the slightest, and you lose. It's that simple. Honestly, I think it's an absolutely fantastic prospect for lore purposes, these two facing off, and I really hope we get to see a little development on it as we go forward. Now, do I expect it to lead anywhere? Possibly not. Maybe more for campaign purposes at this time. I remember a while back the tease of Guilliman realising a superior mind must be behind all the Necron actions across the galaxy, where it felt like we were going to get a Guilliman versus Szarekh scenario, a confrontation of some sort. But it never came. However, it does have to be said, this is a much more immediate situation. Vashtorr is within the Nephilim Anomaly already, causing carnage to the Necrons' plan. Quite simply, Szarekh has to do something. And I'll admit, I would love it if it turned out Szarekh was the reason Vashtorr could not achieve his goals with the Vault. We know Vashtorr can't ascend to the Pantheon without a major change to the lore, so why not have it as Szarekh who stops him? Make it a change from the usual Imperium intervention. And I think he deserves to get some type of big victory. because I can't actually think of one since his big return to the galaxy. And the Silent King's reputation deserves, and you could say needs one. The Silent King's name needs to be one that makes the galaxy tremble once again. With all the emphasis on the Tyranids and the ruinous powers, he's lost a little steam and mojo, it has to be said. Him getting a big victory over Vashtorr would most certainly put a little bit of shine back on to Sarekh's name. It's definitely a cool article to check out if you can. It's got mentions of Abaddon, Fabius Bile, the Wordbearers, and even Magnus the Red. So it's a real meeting point of the galaxy right now. But it's really all about Vashtorr turning up at the centre with Wormwood, and what it all could mean. The prospect of Vashtorr succeeding, and what Szarekh is going to do about him. Fingers crossed we get some development on this moving forward. But as always everyone, what do you think? Do you think we will see Vashtorr and the Silent King going against each other? Or is this just another little tease within the lore? Something that we may not actually see play out? If they do go head to head, who do you think would get the win? Should it be Vashtorr the Arkifane or Szarekh the Silent King? As always everyone, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. If you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.